Good morning to my YouTube family out there. I hope you're all doing well. As you'll notice in the title for this video, this is a reshoot video of the, it's not really an unboxing, I'm kind of just showing you what comes in the box for the Savage Worlds Essential Kit box. My original video on it, it got too long, my camera shut off partway through and I had to break it up into two videos. It was kind of a pain. And though it had gotten, some decent views, I was never quite happy with the fact that it was broken into two videos, and the fact that going back and watching it, I could see where I got really off track a few times talking about different Savage settings and stuff, when in reality I kind of needed to focus on what does and doesn't come in this box set, and whether or not it's something that you want. So I deleted the other videos, and I have sitting down this morning with more focused intent, and I'm going to go over the box set, and maybe that helps you decide whether or not this is something you want. So the box that I am referring to is the Savage Worlds Essential box, and it's a big boy. This retails for $150, and it came out the same time that the new edition of Savage Worlds drops, the Adventure Edition. I don't know why, but when I pre-ordered it through my local game store, I was under the assumption that the rule book came in the box. So let me be clear with everyone right off the bat. It does not come in the box. This does say it's the essential kit, but the best description for that, it's the essential stuff that you want for running the games of Savage Worlds. The book is separate. Now, excuse me, that's no fault of Pinnacle. Nowhere did they say that the book would come in the box. It was, I guess the title said Essential Kit, and I just assumed that because it was the essential box that it came with the rule book. Well, it didn't. The rule book was separate, which I found out when I got to the store that day to pick my copy out. I was a little off-put about that to begin with, but I've since gotten over it. And so you are going to need the rule book, obviously. There are 3 different ways to get it. Number one, you can go as cheap as $10 on their website and download the PDF. If you want a physical copy, it is $40. I have videos on the book, but it's a nice big hardback book. Very nice edition. They've cleaned up a lot of stuff from the last edition of the game. Really love this book, love this game. And if you're a real hardcore nerd, you can get the leather-bound, metal-cornered, everything, collector's edition, which is signed by Shane, Jody, and Clint. And my wife actually got this for me. I love that. And then I gave her the one that I had originally bought, so she has her own book. So books notwithstanding, what comes in the essential kit? So I've already opened it up. I use this quite a bit, but I wanted, like I said, I wanted a coherent, fixed, single video to show you what all is in it. So let's get everything here. I'm gonna start pulling it out. So it comes with the World Builder Game Master's Guide, which is I believe, 96-page softcover book that is surprisingly a lot better than you might think. And I have an entirely other video on that, a review of just this book alone. So if you want to know what's in here and why I say it's so good, go check that video out. I'd also mention in that video this that comes in the box. It's a mini setting book with 4 miniature settings in it, and like I say in the other video, there's not a lot to talk about. They're 4 miniature settings that you may or may not want to use, but they do have new monsters and new stats that aren't in the main book, so that's kind of nice. They're great for like 1 or 2 shot adventures for your party. I don't think you can get this separately. The Game Master's Guide you can get separately off their website. I don't remember how much the PDF is, but I know the paperback book is $19.99. And most of the stuff in this box can be ordered individually. But if you were to order the majority of it individually, you would end up spending way more than $150 for the box set. So at the end of the day, it is a really good deal. That being said, do you have to have this box set? Let's just get this out of the way right up front. No. You do not have to have this box set in order to run Savage Worlds. Most of the stuff in this box set, number one, can be bought separately. Because maybe there's only 2 or 3 things out of here that you want. Buy them separately, save some money. And then there's a lot of stuff in here that is cool that they put it in here, and I find that I get a lot of use out of it. But it can be done easier ways or cheaper ways than buying the stuff out of here. So I think you can download and print these. I'm not sure how much they cost, but it comes with a bunch of die-cut tokens. And these are all for conditions, you know, being on hold, aiming, defending, fatigue. I put all mine in a little bag so they're easier to get to. Wounds, shaken, vulnerable, stunned, distracted, entangled, what is this one, bound. So you get a whole bunch of those tokens, and that's really nice. And like I said, I think you can download those and print them out too. It also comes with templates, and these are nice clear plastic templates. This is your cone template. A lot of powers and certain weapons use this, so if you're playing with miniatures, this is nice to have. Then you have the small, medium, I'm doing that backwards. Or upside down. There we go. Small, medium, and large blast template. So again, for use with miniatures, which a lot of people do with Savage Worlds. Also available separately is the landscape format Game Master's Guide, or Game Master Screen, which has really cool art on the outside of it, depicting all kinds of different times and genres, because you can play, you know, anytime, anywhere with Savage Worlds. And on the inside, a lot of great charts that you will find very useful. This thing is something I use every week in my game. It's a must-have. And let's go ahead and pull this cardboard out here. The other 2 things in this top section I got are 2 card sheets that you can hand out or put out on the table for your players. There's new chase rules in this edition, so this is a chase and vehicle reference chart, which has your chase rules and tables on one side and maneuvers on the other side. It's made of a pretty thick card, so that's nice. This one is combat options and situational rules. So all your combat options and what they do are listed here. Continued on this side. You have your power modifiers for spells here, so that's really nice. You have your injury table and your bullets and rate of fire table on here. And then you even have a little thing to remind your players what they can use bennies for. These are really handy to set out on the table. I think you can download those actually for free off of the website. And I just downloaded them for free and made copies to hand out at my table. So what else we got here? So you have the Savage Worlds trackers, and these are just little spindly trackers. It goes 1 to 15, I think. No, it goes 1 to 20. There we go. There's the 20 and 1. Anyway, these are for tracking power points or ammunition or rounds, anything that you want to track. You get 5 of these in the box. Do you have to have these? No. I mean, let's be honest. You could do this with a sheet of paper or a die that you're sitting on the table to count stuff down. But if you get the box, they come in it. They're really pretty neat. I hand them out at my games for my players to use. They, I believe you can get a set of 5 of these for like $10 off the website. But again, not essential. That's something you could do with paper. You also get a set of 25 bennies. Now, in Savage Worlds, if I can stop dropping stuff here, your bennies are, for most people, poker chips. And these are really nice. There are, I believe, 4 different art pictures on them. So there's 1, there's 2, there's the 3rd one, and the 4th one. And I think that's all. I don't think there's any other art on them. Yeah, nope, there is one more. There's the one that looks like a ray gun. In the back of these, Savage Worlds Adventure Edition. And these are really nice poker chips. Like I said, I think you get 25 of these. As I've said in other videos, do you have to use their poker chips for bennies? No. You could go to Walmart and pay, you know, 10 or 20 bucks and get a big thing of poker chips. You don't even have to use poker chips. You could use coins, pennies, you could use beads, candy. I mean, anything you're handing out to represent how many bennies that somebody has. Are they nice? Yeah, they're really nice poker chips. And they do them not just for Savage, this is for standard Savage Worlds, but they do them for their settings too. Like Deadlands has its own poker chips. Rifts has its own poker chips. So I'm a big fan of those, and when I'm into a game, I buy everything I can get for it. Number 1, because I like to support the game. Number 2, I like having all the stuffs. So, again, you don't have to have them, but they're really nice. So, this one was an oddity, because this comes in here. This is a action deck. It's a poker deck, but they are oversized cards that are pretty big. I mean, see, I don't think I have, what? So this is the size of a normal deck. So these things are big. And it's just a set of cards that has your numbers are all just regular numbers. Your jokers obviously are cool art. And then your face cards have lots of cool art on them. Again, the art on them is from different genres, different times. I think that's East Texas University, I think. I'm just gonna go through here real quick and show you the face cards. I mean, some of these are fantasy, obviously. Some of them are horror based. This one definitely looks like Conan. It's a priest with a super soaker. Wonder what he's hunting. There's your other Joker. He's a purple Joker. Wonder who that guy is. You're probably looking for that guy. But each one of the face cards, they all have individual art on them. They're really, really good. And they represent, you know, different times, different games that you could be playing. So, I'll be honest, when I first opened it up, I thought, they're really big play cards. I'm not sure how much use I would get out of those. Mainly because I like to use themed decks, like I have the Rifts poker deck for my Rifts games. I have superhero poker cards for superhero games, so on and so forth. I believe it was my friend Haley was like, well, maybe because of all the streaming, they did them big so you could see them on the screen. And I was like, yeah, I didn't think of that. That makes sense. The more I have used them, though, because I've run several games now where I wanted to use everything that came out with the new system to put it all through the paces and see how much of it was useful. And I love the big cards, mainly because I have old man eyes, and it helps me to see across the table of who has what. They have gotten a lot of use. There are 3 other decks that come in here, and we'll save that one for last. So you had the status tokens that you can put next to your miniature on the table. This one I find super handy in games to get them out of here. They are all sleeved. I sleeve them. They don't come sleeved, but once sleeved, they will fit back in their boxes. So you have, aim, defend, hold. You have cards for everything. You wounded, and when somebody gets wounded or gets fatigued or gets, shaken, I hand them a card, and it's a reminder to have next to them not only that they are wounded, but like if I give you a wounded card, it tells you on the bottom of it what it does. Subtract 1 from all trait rolls and pace, cumulative with other wounds to a maximum of -3. So it's a nice little reminder for the players to be able to have next to their characters, or for you to put next to your NPCs when they get wounded or shaken or entangled or whatever behind the screen, so that you remember what effect they have without having to stop and look it up. And that being said, behind the screen, the conditions are on the screen, so that's not as big a deal. This one is one that I have found I use it every game, and they have made adventure decks. That's what it is, the adventure deck. They made adventure decks before in other editions of Savage Worlds, but I never really liked using them because what they are cards that you deal out at the beginning of the game, and the players get to choose whether or not to use it at some point during the game, and each card does something different. And it can be, like Lucky Break. Play this card to completely negate the damage from one successful attack to one other character, or to one character. Angry Mob. A mob of angry locals, about 2 per hero, join the fight. Whether they are friend or foe depends on the situation. So the players get these, and they get to pick when and if to use them. And at the beginning of the game, you shuffle them up, you deal them out, and you deal each player 1 of these per rank. So if they are novice, they get 1. If they're seasoned, they get 2. And so on and so forth. They still generally can only use 1 per game session, unless the card specifically says play this card, da 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 da, and then you get another card. You can play it. It'll tell you if you can play another card. Normally, regardless if they get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these cards, depending on what rank they are, they have to choose which one to use during that game session. And I always did, like I said, I didn't want to use them before because I felt like they messed with my control of the game. Like, I don't want them to be able to play something where unexpected help shows up. That could mess up the whole encounter. And that was my thinking years ago. And over time, I have gotten, I don't want to say just better. I think I've gotten more liberal with my use of what I give the players, because I want them to have a really great time. So, and like I said, this stuff came in the box. I wanted to utilize everything that came in the set and see how we liked it. And by doing that, I have found that I love the adventure deck. The adventure deck is so much fun. We've had so much crazy stuff happen, and it's never slowed the game down. Like that was one of my fears, is I'm gonna have to take time to think about what happens. It usually, the answer is obvious. It presents itself right away. The other deck The final deck is power cards. This is amazing, and I love it. Probably too much. I have all of them sleeved. All my cards are sleeved. I bought sleeves for them. They all fit back in the box like that. But these power cards are fantastic because they have all of the information out of the book for each power on the card. So you can lay out the cards, the powers that you have, whether it's magic, psychic abilities, whatever. And you have your 4 or 5 powers in front of you all the time instead of having to flip back and forth through the book. Again, at the end of the day, do you have to have most of this? No. You don't have to have the power cards. You could write all your information down yourself on some index cards. You could just keep the book tabbed or open to the power section and look it up as needed. Are they nice to have? Yeah, I love them. And the thing is, they are fantastic, but they are also something that everybody is going to want. Or everybody who's playing something with powers. For instance, I keep a deck back here for me. And then I have bought my wife a deck, bought my son a deck. I have 2 more decks of them for giving to other players. My friend Haley, who plays with us, kind of like my daughter, she's bought her own deck. So everybody has their own deck at the table, and everybody has found it very useful to have their own power cards. I think individually, the power cards are like 15, or any of the card decks are like $15 a deck. It's not bad. I mean, yeah, you could write everything out. That's definitely an option. But for $15 to get those really great cards and have all the powers at your fingertips, it's a good deal. I think the big thing of poker cards is 20, but the other decks are 15. And that's really, yeah, well, there's dice. There's dice. I don't have the dice in here. They're in my dice bag. So just, you'll have to trust me. There's some pretty dice in here. I actually really like the wild dice that come into this set, particularly. So let's talk for just a minute. All right. How much of this do you need? Because that's going to be, how much of this do you need / want? That's going to be the question you have to answer for yourself here. Do you have to have an adventure deck? No, it's an option you can do with your friends and at the game table, and it's fun, but it's not essential. You don't really have to have it. If you want power cards, could you write them down or just have your book? You could. Status cards, which tell you all the conditions. All that information is in the rule book, so you don't have to have the cards. You don't have to have the tokens. All of this information is in the rule book. No, you don't have to have most of this. It is an essential kit of Savage World stuff that is really nice to have. And its face value is worth more than $150 for it. I don't know that every player necessarily is going to buy one of these, because there's a lot in here that your average player is not going to use. Most players aren't going to bring their own status tokens, status cards, adventure deck. They'll probably bring their own power cards, maybe their own tracker, maybe their own templates. But for somebody who runs a lot of Savage Worlds games, everything you need is here. Do you have to do it with the big poker deck? No, you could use a regular poker deck, $3, $4, $5. Like I said, you don't have to use their bennies. Nothing in here is you have to have this box set to run the game. There are certain things that if you're going to run the game, yes, you have to have a poker set or a poker deck. You have to have something to use for bennies. You don't have to have a GM screen, but I find it really helpful. I mean, those are the essentials. Like, you have to have those things. You don't have to have this version. You could go cheaper if you wanted to. But this version is really nice. Now, let me be clear. I don't get paid a penny from Pinnacle. So, I'm not making anything talking their products up. This is just me and you guys talking about how great these products are and whether or not you will want them. Also, you can kind of like use the box. It has an insert in there where you can put stuff, and I don't know if you can see the bennies. I've got bennies in the bottom of it, and kind of keep everything together. It's to me, this box is essential. I wasn't sure about it in the beginning, but the only thing in this box that I have not gotten use out of is the mini settings book, which I'm not sure. I don't think you can buy it separately anyway. It just came in the box. The tokens get used every week, constantly. The templates get used. The reference, the GM screen gets used. The bennies get used. The cards get used. The trackers get used. Every bit of this has gotten a ton of use since it came out, because I have been running lots of Savage Worlds games and trying to use everything in it, and it's been very, very handy. I have found as a Savage Worlds game master that, to me, this is an essential kit. Yes, are there ways you could do it cheaper? For the most part, yeah. But as a fan of Savage Worlds and the quality of the stuff in this box, you can't do it cheaper. No, you can't. I just don't believe you can do it cheaper. Especially not when it comes to these great card decks and the bennies and all that. There's no way you could get this quality cheaper than what you're getting in here. So, I guess, like a lot of things, your mileage may vary. It depends on you and what you want out of it. And if you're just a player, you probably don't want to pick up this box set. But you might want to pick up a couple of the card decks or the trackers or something like that. That's going to be up to you. If you're running or hoping to run a lot of Savage Worlds games, yeah, it's $150, and yeah, you have to get the rule book separately. So you're looking at like a $200 buy-in for everything you could possibly need outside of miniatures to run a game. It's a pretty good deal, especially compared to other role-playing games and the accessories and stuff once you buy them. I'm very, very happy with it, and I do highly recommend it, but mainly to other game masters who are going to run a lot of games. Again, if you're just a player, you can order these decks individually. Talk to your local game store, Amazon. Stay away from eBay, because people are retarded on eBay and they put stupid prices on shit. That's all I've really got for it. I just wanted you guys to know what came in the box and be able to make, just like I do with the books, I wanted you to be able to make an informed decision on whether it's something that you want or not. It is available, the box set is available, and I think the cards and everything are all available individually on Pinnacle's website as well. That is all I have for this reshoot video. Thank you for taking the time to watch it. If you enjoyed the video, thumbs up, didn't thumbs down, share the channel, join our Facebook group, RGG and Friends, and yeah, I don't know other than that. Other than just, good gaming, good luck.